Hi, welcome back to AutoReview, and this is the BMW i3 with the REX or range extender. This is an early 2017 model. It's not the new one that was introduced on the ERR in 2017, so it will be a 2018 model. However, I think it's still interesting to see this car because it's going to be available now on the used car market. And if you're looking into an EV or electric vehicle, that might be your choice. So what do we have here? As I mentioned, 2017 BMW i3 with a REX, so we have a range extender. Range extender means there is a petrol-powered two-cylinder motorcycle engine from BMW motorcycles in the back of the car. However, it doesn't power the drivetrain. It does work as a generator to produce electricity to power the battery or to keep the battery level up. So there is a 9-liter petrol tank in it, and this one is a 650cc motorcycle engine, as I mentioned. A two-cylinder that works as a generator. What do we have here? We have a 170 horsepower electric engine. The 170 horsepower we have at 4,800 RPM, 250 newton meters of torque at 0 RPM. So basically, you start the car, you go, and you right away have the full torque, and that's the advantage of having an electric vehicle. So it's a pure 4-seater, so all the i3s come as 4-seaters. You can't have it as 5-seater because we have cup holders in the middle and it's registered only for 4. However, they do have plenty of space, and even in the second row you have enough space. I fit it in there as well, so you will see it in a moment. We have air conditioning, we have heated seats, we have navigation, and well, obviously it's an electric car as well. However, this one is one of the more base models. We have halogen lights, we have LED daylight driving. We do not have the traffic jam driver assist system, which means basically up to 60 or 70 kilometers an hour on the highway. When there's a traffic jam, it drives basically by itself. It stops, it accelerates, it even steers through corners. You just have to have your hand on the steering wheel. So as usual, I'll show you the car from the first row, second row, boot space, and then we hit the road. Enjoy! So the i3 from inside, first thing you see is very spacey looking, like with the dashboard here going down. We have the two freestanding or free-flowing screens. You see behind, it looks like it's actually flowing in the air. But as usual, from left to right. So electric windows, one criticizing point is you have to basically really do like this to get to the electric windows. Then close and open button for the doors, electric mirrors. Heated, obviously. Let's put down the window. You can see it goes fully down. Then this recycled material I mentioned to you here in the dashboard looks like it's falling apart or like kind of hair, but actually it works. Looks nice. Steering wheel only attached on the left and right, so you have space here. You can basically drive like this, very comfortable with this blue for electric. Again, the blue from outside from the logo. Lights, we have auto lights. I mentioned in this case halogen lights, but you can get LEDs as well. Then this one is the control unit for the turning on and off the engine, or basically powering the motor, and the drive train with the drive to the front, park, neutral, and reverse. So you basically just move this one forward and backward. Cruise control on the left side, volume on the right side, as well as voice recognition, and the wiper for the front and the back. We have in the middle then the screen, which is all digital. Gives you how much battery power we have left or capacity we have left, 58%. Average consumption, average speed, temperature outside, time, total trip, and range. Now we have 116 left with 70 kilometers electric and 46 in with the range extender. This is in comfort. Once you go into Eco Pro, it changes to 53 kilometers. Range extender 80 electric, and Eco Pro Plus 57 range extender, 87 electric. Eco Pro Plus, it works. However, it will turn off the air condition and you're limited to 90 kilometers an hour. And with the weather like this, where it's cold outside and you're warm inside, everything gets foggy and you won't see anything anymore. Then shortcut buttons for the radio, different mode as well here. Heated seats in 3 settings, air conditioning, automatic with a display here. So obviously we can turn it on. You can see it here. Then it shows as well if you're an Eco Pro or Eco Pro Plus. Auto and manual circulation in the air. Just a second, the light. Then we have a little net there, and you see we have no transmission tunnel, so all this is empty. You could have made maybe a 6-seater out of it if you would have moved all this away, but I guess it would be a bit too tight then. Glove box pops open to the front, to the top, which is okay size. Then one cup holder, comfort, Eco Pro Plus button to switch in between, parking sensors, the iDrive system. I'm not going to explain that one too much. You basically can scroll left and right in between, shortcut buttons for telephone, navigation, media, radio, as well as go back and so on. Electronic parking brake, which we can turn on. A little compartment where you can put, for example, your wallet, another cup holder, 12-volt power socket, aux in, and a USB port. And well, that's pretty much it. So we do have mirrors, however, they're not illuminated, all the way saving electricity, so no lights there. We have light here, and that's it for the front row. Obviously, steering wheel, reach and rake. You can adjust it to your liking. Seats are height adjustable as well. You see it's integrated with the headrest. However, they're super comfortable. I have to say they're very, very comfortable. They look sleek. I really like it. That's it for the front. Let's check the second row. All right, so to get inside, we can't open this door without opening the driver's door. So once we do that, we have the silver lever here. Then we open the door, and then we could already get inside. However, we make it a little bit easier. We move the chair to the front, or not even the chair, just the back side, and then put it back in. And this is the position with the seat adjusted to me. I'm 184 tall for the driver, and obviously you can see I have enough space, really enough space in the back seat as well. Let me close the door. And then you see this window we can't open. And this is a purely four-seater, so 2 in the front, 2 in the back. We have 2 cup holders. And what I find a little bit annoying is it's kind of tight here, not in the sense of space, but because of the cup holders, the belt to buckle up is quite narrow, and I'm sitting a little bit on it. We have a light here, we have the headrests, which you can fold down as well, or up, obviously. And, oh, sorry, my rucksack is pushing this up. But other than that, it's very comfortable to sit. Enough space. We have a little hook that you can turn around to hang your jacket, for example. But it is comfortable. There's nothing else here, no USB port, no ventilation, nothing really. And yeah, the one drawback about this car is if you have someone in the back, you have to open the driver's door or the passenger door to open the rear doors. And that person has to buckle off. Otherwise, because the seatbelt is in this second door, you can't get out. But enough of the seats, let's check the boot and then we hit the road. All right, so the i3 from the back, and obviously the i3 is one of the most futuristic looking cars out on the market at the moment. And it basically shouts out, I am electric, look at me. So either you like it or you don't like it. Just quickly to the car. In the front we have opening for the petrol tank to refill. In the back we open it here. We have the electric charging point, obviously type 2. And you can take them out separately and charge according to what you find. A regular charging with 3.7 kilowatt hours. And let me show you the boot. So obviously we have the design here with the white and black panels, which looks nice. Some parts are blue, for example here around the BMW logo, i3 and eDrive. The lights are actually behind glass here. This is all glass. And once we open it up, you'll see we have quite a high loading height and a very tiny boot, because below here we have the range extender, as I mentioned. 260 liters if you leave the seats up. Once you fold them down, up to 1,100 liters. A little pack, a little rubber here, light, a 12-volt power socket, some hooks basically, or something to strap onto in case you have something that's flying around. And that's pretty much it. So let's close it. And you see the super nice lights. I really like the design of the car, personally. Well, looks very sleek. Enough of talking, let's hit the road. All right, so how does the BMW i3 with the small battery capacity and the range extender drive? How does it drive? First of all, this was my first time that I was driving, not the BMW i3, but BMW i3 for a longer period of time. I've tested this car already back in Germany with the Drive Now, which is like a car sharing company. However, only for 10-15 minutes. So this was the first real life test, basically. And I had the car now for the last 3 days, and I took it to work and back. And my work way is approximately 65 kilometers one way. So for everyone who is thinking about getting an electric car, or getting the BMW i3, it works. It does work. However, and this is the thing, here in Switzerland, the infrastructure for the charging points is not very well built up yet. In Germany, they're way ahead. If you go to Norway, they are light years ahead of us, and that makes a big difference. In Switzerland, you have to plan much more and much better in case you want to basically use it for a daily commute, or if you want to do longer distances. So I had, with a fully charged battery and a full gas tank of the range extender, as per the computer, or as per the trip computer, basically told me that I have a range of 303 kilometers in Eco Pro. In Eco Pro Plus, so we have 3, right? Comfort, Eco Pro Plus. In Eco Pro Plus, where it's actually very difficult to use it because, and actually you see one advantage of this i3, it has a very small turning circle, 9.7 meters. So in this car it's comfort. I had around 260, it told me. In Eco Pro it told me 303, and Eco Pro Plus around 338 kilometers. However, it's very difficult to drive Eco Pro Plus because the air conditioning and the heating is off, and depending on what's the weather outside, if it's like now where we have kind of autumn, the windows will fog up very, very quickly, because the way you breathe, it's cold outside, it's warm inside, the windows just fog or get foggy, and you're not able to drive without it, or it's just too cold, right? I was driving one day in the evening back and it was 6 degrees. You can't drive at 6 degrees outside with the heating off. So most of the time I was driving Eco Pro, and that works fine. It tells you it's limited to 110. However, I figured, or I discovered that you can drive faster than that, so I'm not quite sure how does the car limit it. If you do the cruise control, you set it to 120, it will still go 120. So it's not limiting the car by any means. So it's not about the pedal, it's just even cruise control it limits. So let me tell you the drawbacks, or the negative point about the i3. The charging, it takes really long time because it has a Type 2 charging point or port, which in this model, which we have here, charged with maximum 3.7 kilowatts, which is not very fast. You can get it with 32 amps. This one is 16 amps. However, in private houses, it's not allowed to charge with this. So you could increase it to 7.4 kilowatt hours. This one charges only with 3.7. However, if you go for the newer BMW i3, which is the one with the 94 amp battery capacity, you can get optional 11 kilowatts charging, which will decrease the charging time drastically. So I used it to go to work purely electric on the first day, and I reached it and I still had plenty of battery left. However, the charging took approximately like 4.5 hours. This is quite a long time, so if you purely want to drive electric, it's quite a long time to do so. And you can't charge it really faster in the one we have here. And that's the negative point about electric driving at the moment still. It's just too many different charging connections. Every manufacturer does his or her own thing, which is a little bit annoying. There is no standard, and this is a problem for electric e-mobility basically. That, well, if you drive one car and you switch, you might have to reinstall your wall box or whatever, or you just can't get and use every charging point which is on the map. And the thing is, with an electric car, you need to rely on the fact that the charging station is working and you can charge your car there. So yesterday when I drove to work, I arrived there and I had like 20% battery left, because I obviously drove home the day before or the evening, and then I didn't charge overnight. I went back and I used the range extender on the way, and I arrived with like 20% battery capacity, and both charging points were occupied. So I had to go back and forth like 3 times and still the car wasn't there. So what I did basically, I left a little note on both cars saying please give me a call once you leave so I can come and charge my car. And that's the one thing that I feel the e-mobility community is very connected and very strong, because both of them called me. Actually, the first one called me and said, okay, you would like to charge, I'm leaving now, go ahead and charge your car. And then I went basically, plugged my car in and started charging. Luckily I had enough time to still charge the car. And then the second one called as well. So the first one was someone who drove a Zoe. He left, so I put my car in his parking spot and charged it. And the second one was a Tesla, and he sent me a message and said, well, you would like to charge your car, come, you can charge now, however I see you already doing it. So electric greetings, which was kind of cool. Now, this is the major drawback in 2017 where we are now, that electric cars are, you can't still rely on the charging stations outside. If you have a possibility to charge your car at home, it's a different game. Because now with this i3, with a smaller battery and the range extender, I have actually no problem, I wouldn't have a problem to drive back to work and come home, even on one battery charge, in good weather conditions. So obviously in winter the battery capacities are less, and I don't think I would be able to do a 130 kilometer commute on one charge back and forth. So if I would have the i3 without the range extender, I doubt I would manage. With the range extender it works. However, the range extender, as I mentioned, is a 647cc 2-cylinder motorcycle engine, which we actually know from the C650 Sport scooter we tested as well. So I linked the video so you can check it out. And what it does basically, it makes this i3 a hybrid, but not a normal hybrid, because in a normal hybrid the battery supports the petrol engine, and the petrol engine is running usually most of the time if the battery runs out. Here it's actually the battery that runs the car or powers the car, and the petrol engine motorcycle engine is actually not powering any of the drivetrain. It basically is a generator that produces electricity and feeds the battery to keep the battery capacity on a level. And I'm not sure, I don't think that, for example, in Germany the car is subsidized by the government and you don't get the E number for electric car because of the range extender. I'm not quite sure, so if I'm wrong, please write it in the comments below. Other drawbacks of the car is it's a pure 4-seater, so you can't get the car with 5 seats in the back because you have these cup holders there, and obviously it's registered only for 4. It's actually spacious. Don't get me wrong, it's difficult to get in and out because the passenger in the back can't get out as long as the doors in the front are closed. When you're in a tight parking space, it's kind of difficult to actually get in and out if both want to get out, especially the rear passengers, because you have to make sure that you can actually open the door, and then you're basically stuck in between the 2 doors. And what I felt as well when I was sitting in the back, even though I had enough space for my legs, sitting in the V shape obviously, but was fine, I had enough headroom and space for my body, is that the belt, where you actually put the belt in, was pushing against my my backside and was not very comfortable, so they're a little bit too close to each other, or too narrow. Then the engine, let me actually turn it on because we have less than 75% of the battery power, so we can turn on the range extender. So now I turn it on, and I'm actually gonna turn on the motorcycle engine, and I will start charging the battery, or try to keep the battery on one level. And see, we have very bad weather, that's why I apologize for the intro. I just couldn't do it outside, where the last days the weather is like that. Now, you do hear the engine if you turn off the radio and if it's very quiet, because the car is very quiet when you drive it in E-mode, obviously. And the fuel consumption of the petrol engine is actually quite high, it's around 7.5 liters. Now actually it's on. You can hear it. And it doesn't matter how fast or slow you drive, the generator or the the petrol engine, it's not linked to the speed you're driving. So it just does the thing, charges the battery, disregarding basically the speed you drive. Now we do have recuperation, which is actually one way to get energy back into the car, and it's actually quite abrupt and very strong. So if you basically drive in cruise control and you turn off cruise control, it right away starts recuperating and it slows down pretty strong. So you have to be careful when you drive on the highway. So what you have to do is basically you have to put your foot on the gas, turn off the cruise control, and then keep it like slowly so you can kind of roll, you know. You do have the indicator here with e-power and charge, so how much you use and how much you recuperate. And obviously you have some information here as well in regards to information, e-drive, and then you have how much energy used, energy flow, for example. Now you see the generator's on, the orange one, so now it turned off again. And it does it by itself, so you don't have to do anything with it. It does a thing. So now when you slow down your brake, it turns off. You feed basically the power back to the batteries when you're slowing down. It tells you the potential you could have if you turn off the air conditioner or the heating. In this case, if I would go to Eco Pro Plus, I would have another 3 kilometers of range potential with it. And then as obviously we are in comfort. See, this is another problem I figured out as well. If you turn off the car and you turn on the car, it always switches back to comfort, which is super annoying. If I'm someone who used to drive in Eco Pro, I want it to be stuck in Eco Pro until I tell them don't be in Eco Pro anymore. And this is something that's kind of annoying. Now, what I do like about the recuperation is that you basically pretty much can do OPD, one pedal driving. Means you don't need to use the brakes once you actually learn how to drive electric car. So because you slow down so much because of recuperation, you don't need the brakes anymore. So your brake pads might actually start rusting because you don't use them as much if you use the car a lot, right? Now you hear the petrol engine. Now this is my consumption over the last 3 days. I drove the car for 3 hours 37 minutes, 276 kilometers, and I had an average of 15.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Average speed was 78.2 kilometers per hour. How about you go off the street, lady? And I had air conditioning on most of the time. I was listening to the radio all the time, and the temperature outside was between 6 to 16, and yeah, most of it was highway. So actually not ideal for an electric car because you have higher consumption. Now the figures was, I tested it actually out. Purely electric without the range extender, I was driving at 80 kilometers an hour, 1% battery charge, lasts for 1.7 kilometers of distance. And basically it increases with every 10 kilometer step, it decreases by 0.1 kilometers. So at 90 it was 1.6, at 100 it was 1.5, at 110 was 1.4, at 125 then it was 1 kilometer, 1%. So basically if you drive 125 kilometers from the moment you start with 100% battery, you will be purely electric 100 kilometers. I mean, theoretically. Now, do I like the i3? I do. I do like the space-looking design, for sure, and I like the concept. And BMW was actually the first German car manufacturer that started producing a mass electric car. Obviously, the price was around, in this case, it was 40,000 euro for this car without the range extender. Let me go this way. And the range extender was another 4,500 euro. So this car is pretty naked equipped. We do have navigation, we have heated seat, we have air conditioning, we have a range extender. But for example, we have only halogen lights, so we don't have the LED lights, which are optional. For example, the new 2018 i3 will have LED lights stock, as well as these are the least beautiful rims, I would say. And there are some nicer colors as well to the car. So you can actually make this car look really nice. And obviously the futuristic design is not for everyone, so you have to keep that in mind. But I really like it. Would I recommend the i3? yes and no. Depends on what's your daily drive and what's your commute. If you want to be eco-friendly and you want to drive an electric car, I believe you should go for a pure electric car without the range extender. However, it obviously limits the car's distance you can travel. With a 94 amp battery, I think it should be fine because it has 50% more power compared to the 60 amp one, or capacity, and it's okay. For me, for example, this one without the range extender, I would not be able to drive it to work and back on one charge, and I personally don't have a charging point at home because I'm renting an apartment, I'm not owning it, and there's no electric lot in my garage. So that's the thing. Now, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry if it's not very technical because, again, this is the first electric car I tested. There will be more coming, there will be more hybrids coming as well, because I'm trying to go more into this environment friendly and alternative energy cars setup. So we'll test the Toyota Prius very soon, the Hyundai Ioniq. I hope the Renault Zoe will come as well. So please stay tuned, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much to Garage Suter AG in Ringgenberg, who provided this car to me. You'll find all the information in the description below. And subscribe, like and share, like it, comment below, and I see you next time. Bye.